Yo, what's up YouTube fam? It's your boy Koozie, and I'm back at you with another hot TikTok reaction video. And today we're gonna be doing some creepy and woke TikTok reactions. I'm talking about the kind that's gonna have you rethinking reality. With that said, let's go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you won't miss any new hot TikTok reactions that I'm gonna drop in the future. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, one more thing. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe anything you hear or see in these videos. Always use your own discernment and always do your own research. Let's get it.
Do you remember the story of the fall of Babylon? In ancient times, all people spoke the same language and lived together. They aimed to build a towering city as a symbol of unity and power, but perhaps in their ambition, they lost sight of humility and their connection to God. Seeing their pride and arrogance, God decided to confound their language, which made it impossible for them to work together, leading to chaos and division. As a result, people scattered across the earth, forming different nations and cultures. This story teaches us the importance of our spiritual beliefs and respecting God's plan.
Hey y'all, this gonna be a good one, man. I'm telling you. If I was you, I'll be locked in, paying attention. Cause hey, it's gonna be some stuff in here that could really easily go over your head, and you definitely don't want to miss. Let's get right to it.
What if the Tower of Babel was more than just a biblical story? The Tower of Babel is said to have been a massive tower built by the ancient Babylonians in an attempt to reach the heavens. But could there be any truth to this tale? The story of the Tower of Babel can be found in the book of Genesis in the Bible. According to the text, the people of Babylon began to build a tower that would reach the heavens. However, God was displeased with their efforts and caused the people to speak different languages, making it impossible for them to communicate and complete the tower. The tower was then abandoned and never finished. While the biblical account may be seen as a myth or allegory, some researchers believe that the Tower of Babel may have been a real structure. The ancient city of Babylon, located in modern-day Iraq, was once home to some of the most advanced architecture and engineering of its time. The city was known for its ziggurats, massive stepped pyramids that were used as religious temples. One theory suggests that the Tower of Babel may have been a ziggurat that was either never completed or was destroyed over time.
Little truth or some lies, man. It was finished, but it was destroyed. You know, that's the whole reason God, you know what I'm saying, the story goes, God knocked it down because they was trying to build it up, you know, build their status up, you know, to be like God, like, and try to reach the stars, as they would say, like a God. Okay, man, like they was doing this, and it didn't work out for them like they thought they would, like they thought they would, I would say, because God did, he was not pleased, and he knocked it down, and he made their tongues, he broke their tongues, so they had to, when I say broke their tongues, I mean like broke them down, where everybody speak different languages like we do today. That's why we speak different languages today, and we don't all speak the same language. And he sent this tribe over here, this tribe over there, scattered them all, you know, spread us all out against the earth. That's the story that, you know, that was told. But you're gonna hear more of it right now. Let's get it.
The first man to challenge God. There lived a man named Nimrod. He was a mighty hunter, strong and ambitious, and he gained great renown among the people. Nimrod's desire for power and control led him to challenge the authority of God himself. In those days, the world was still unified, with a common language shared by all. People settled in the land of Shinar and decided to build a city, known as Babel, with a tower that would reach the heavens. The tower was intended to symbolize human achievement and to consolidate their power. Nimrod, with his charisma and persuasive words, convinced the people to follow his lead in defying God. He proclaimed that they would build a tower that would make them equal to God, a monument to their own greatness. They believed that if they could ascend to the heavens, they would secure their place as gods. But God, who sees all things and understands the intentions of the human heart, knew the true nature of their ambition. He decided to intervene and put an end to their audacious endeavor. In response, God confused their language, causing them to speak different tongues, and scattered them across the face of the earth. The once unified people of Babel found themselves unable to communicate effectively, and their construction project came to a halt. The tower, which was meant to reach the heavens, remained unfinished, and the people dispersed to different parts of the world, forming various nations and cultures. Nimrod's attempt to challenge God and reach divine heights proved futile. His arrogance and desire for power were met with divine intervention, reminding humanity of their place in the grand scheme of things. His story serves as a reminder to humankind to approach God with reverence and humility, acknowledging that we are mere mortals in the presence of the Almighty. This is the end of this episode. Follow for more.
Exactly, guys, exactly. But just like the devil, men got beside themselves and was like, man, we gods too. Like y'all be saying today, we gods too. We God. Alright, keep on with that. God will show you who God is for real though. What they say is you are a God like. You're not God, you God like God, like with his likeness. It's a difference. It's a big difference. Man, they said they was gonna be up there. They was gonna have the status of like God. Huh? Shoot, he shut that down real quick. Like they always say, man. He knows our heart. He knows our intentions. Always, he always knows our intentions. And as you can see, they had bad intentions and they got what they deserve for it. Y'all, let me know what y'all think about that though. That's crazy. Does it kind of ring a bell to today? Is another thing I was getting at with what we all doing now. Everybody think they gods, especially just black folks. You got a lot of, not all black folks, a lot of your black folks into the spiritualness, oh, we're gods. Sometimes that's witchcraft and y'all don't even realize it.
All human beings spoke the same language. Where would our civilization be today? Let me tell you about a legend that fascinates me, the Tower of Babel. The legend says that in the era of the first civilizations, people all spoke the same language. This made it much easier to communicate with everyone. And in the city of Babel, in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization in present-day Iraq, they set about building an immense tower with the aim of reaching the kingdom of God. They must have been visionaries. But the latter, threatened by the idea of man interfering in divine affairs, deemed the project too ambitious and decided to scramble man's language so that he could never do it again, as well as destroy the tower. And so it was that men spoke different languages. Unable to communicate with each other, the men were forced to abandon the project. Imagine a construction site where no one understands each other. It's impossible for that to happen. Today, no trace of the construction of this tower has been found, only in the Bible. But it makes you think, doesn't it? Just imagine the possibility that, at some point in history, mankind was all one. Beautiful, isn't it? You see, when I think of this story, I can't help but wonder if mankind can be reunited.
The last megaproject in our list is the insane Tokyo Tower of Babel. Inspired by the biblical Tower of Babel, the Tokyo Tower of Babel is the tallest and most ambitious building to ever be designed.
How many of y'all have heard of the Tokyo Tower of Babel? Because I've never heard of this till now, to be honest.
With an astronomical height of 10,000 meters above the ground, the structure would not only have been the tallest building in the world, it would also have been the tallest object on the planet's surface, surpassing even Mount Everest by more than 1 kilometer in height. The concept of the Tokyo Tower of Babel was first proposed in 1992 by Japanese engineer and architect Toshio Ojima from Waseda University. The tower was a visionary project intended to house as many as 30 million people and serve as a self-sustaining arcology. Given its sheer size, the base for the entire structure alone would have been as big as 4,100 square kilometers, almost double the entire size of the Tokyo metropolitan area. Although it's very unlikely that this project would ever actually start construction, it's estimated that the Tokyo Tower of Babel would have cost as much as 22 trillion US dollars, almost a quarter of the entire world's GDP. Additionally, the project was estimated to take as long as 150 years to be completed. As the population of Tokyo continues to be so densely packed together, it comes to no surprise as to why the city has proposed so many of these insane megaprojects. Despite the inherent challenges that the country faces with frequent earthquakes and tsunamis, Japanese architects and engineers have mastered the art of creating structures that can withstand the wrath of nature.
The Tower of Babel narrative tells of a time when humanity spoke a single language and settled in the land of Shinar. Here, they aspired to build a city with a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. Their intent was to make a name for themselves and avoid being scattered across the earth. However, the irony unfolds as the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, highlighting the futility of their efforts to reach the heavens when the God of heaven must descend to even see their tower. And despite their fears of dispersion, God confounds their language, causing them to no longer understand one another, and indeed scattering them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth. The name Babel is thus aptly derived from the Hebrew word for confusion, Balal. In a poignant contrast, the narrative is followed by the account of Abram, later named Abraham. His new name, given by God, signifies the establishment of a covenant and the bestowal of true identity, juxtaposing human self-exaltation with divine blessing. Check out Orthodox Depot for Christian icons, books, clothing, and more. Link in the About section of this channel.
So did the Babylonians, I'm wondering, did they worship Baal or what, man? Because I'm going to do my research, because that was just a little too much of a coincidence right there. Baal, I don't know, man. It just all sounds the same to me. Baal, you know, for y'all who may not know, that's an ancient deity that they worshiped back in the day. I think it was the Sumerians or Mesopotamians. I have to do my research and I'll get back with y'all in the comment sections for y'all who do want to know about that. Yeah, that's a little crazy though.
The fragile remains of the legendary city of Babylon in modern-day Iraq have revealed many secrets. The greatest of all was the discovery of a vast structure that ancient records suggest was the Tower of Babel. Ancient texts have allowed...
This is a very strong piece of...
Man, is it me, or does that look like a Power Ranger, stone Power Ranger face or head, or at first I almost thought it was like a Transformer symbol, like on the Transformers they got the symbol and stuff. But that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy.
The Tower of Babel story in the Bible was inspired by this real building.
This remarkable tablet, which has never been filmed before, dates to the 6th century BC. It was discovered in Babylon over a century ago. Unbelievably, no one realized how important it was until Professor Andrew George, an expert in ancient texts, brought its faint carvings back to life.
At the top here, this part, there is a relief depicting a stepped tower, and here a figure of a human being carrying a staff with a conical hat on. Below that relief is text which has been chiseled into the monument, and the label is easily read. It reads Etem Enki Zikurat Babeli, and that means the Zikurat or temple tower of the city of Babylon.
This tablet provides the first ever image of the real Tower of Babel. It confirms the building was a Mesopotamian stepped tower and illustrates the 7 tiers of the ancient megastructure. Significantly, it also clearly identifies the man behind it, Mesopotamia's most famous ruler, King Nebuchadnezzar II.
Oh man, how many of y'all out there heard of King Nebuchadnezzar? Man, I was gonna say the wrong word, my bad, y'all. Nebuchadnezzar and Nimrod, because I think they were the same guys. I don't know, maybe one was a father and one was a son. We gotta do more research, because it's confusing out there that some people say they the same ones. You got Nebuchadnezzar, you got Nimrod, and you got Nebuchadnezzar, Nimrod, Gilgamesh. Which was which? Is Gilgamesh and Nimrod the same, or is Nimrod and the first of Nebuchadnezzar the same, King Nebuchadnezzar? Man, we got to get to the bottom of this, man. I'm gonna put y'all on the test, on the little quiz. Are they the same? Or are they different? Who are they? Y'all let me know in the comment section. What's the difference between King Nebuchadnezzar, Gilgamesh, and Nimrod? Ship in the way too. I don't know. Y'all, we gotta think outside the box though. Let me know what you think down below. Does this kind of favor a spaceship, an alien craft that we have seen in other videos in the past? To me, it does.
Clearly identifies the man behind it, Mesopotamia's most famous ruler, King Nebuchadnezzar II.
The building and its builder on the same relief.
But while the images are extraordinary, the tablet's ancient text also reveals a detailed account of the tower's construction, and more importantly, how Nebuchadnezzar went about building it.
It reads from the upper sea, which is the Mediterranean, to the lower sea, and that's the Persian Gulf. The far-flung lands and teeming people of the habitations I mobilized in order to construct this building of the Ziggurat of Babylon.
Incredibly, this ancient account is identical to the biblical story of how the Tower of Babel was constructed. For scholars, the tablet offers further proof that the Tower of Babel wasn't just a work of fiction. It was an actual building from antiquity.
Something to think about, y'all.
You really think God was tripping about a ziggurat? You really think he was sweating a regular old building tower? The Tower of Babel was way more like this than like this. Think about how these are called towers. Now think of a 10G, 20G, 1000G, million G, mile-and-a-half high tower in the sky, possibly connected to the entire pyramid grid on planet Earth, able to split dimensions possibly, and even enter God's dimension. That's right, my theory on this was that this tower could disable the entire firmament, just completely obliterate the dome. Which, if you see what Nimrod's plan was, that's exactly what it was. It was to march right into God's presence and challenge him to his face for flooding the world, and taking out his Nephilim ancestor bloodline. If you do some etymology and original language word study, you realize when it says that they wanted to make a name for themselves, that particular phrase in Genesis regarding the Tower of Babel actually can mean the word renown, which means nothing to you unless you know earlier in Genesis when it talks about the product of the fallen angels and women, they were known as the men of renown. They were giants, the men who did great feats on the earth, the men of renown. So they were saying that we want to become renowned too. And if you study Nimrod's story, you realize that he became a giant. The word is Gaborim. The original text says Nimrod became a Gaborim. There's a whole fascinating study there about Nimrod learned to manipulate genetics, and he actually did whatever ritual or process that involved becoming a giant or one of these Nephilim beings. What if this million G-like dimensional splitting tower was the key to all the pyramids and the ley lines and the entire worldwide energy harvesting grid? That's just a side theory. The main theory is that this tower was absolutely to disable the dome firmament. This is all for entertainment, by the way, because, well, you know, maybe this is why some people think NASA keeps sending rocket-like missile things to try to blow up the dome. Same reason as Nimrod. Also, two quick side notes. You'll find an interesting word study in the word Shem and pyramid, all relating to tower in the Tower of Babel. Also, in reference to the pyramids, the way they all line to Orion, and were possibly all connected in this worldwide grid, maybe connecting to the tower. But anyway, you'll find how the pyramids line to Orion, and an interesting thread about how Orion could be the actual physical location of heaven. There's one there. And maybe that's why all the pyramids were aligned that way, having to do with disabling the firmament and breaking into heaven. Total ascension to the next dimension, which seems to be kind of what all the religions were about. Which the book of Jasher kind of goes into that, and says that there were three distinct camps of people at the tower who God gave all their own judgments to. One, like Nimrod's camp, who wanted to march right into heaven and just fight him face to face. One who wanted to shoot arrows into heaven from earth once the dome was disabled. And one who just wanted free access to worship their gods face to face once the firmament was gone. The three distinct punishments were the arrow shooters were instantly taken out. The ones who wanted to worship their gods were changed into monkey and elephant-like beings, according to the book of Jasher, which has a really interesting connection to the origin of Hindu gods. And even how the Hindu gods, who are elephants and monkeys, worship other gods. Just like this Tower of Babel scenario. And the final camp, Nimrod's camp, who I guess were somewhat respectable for at least wanting to challenge him face to face rather than shooting arrows, it says that God spread them all over the world. If you really think about it, it seems like the world, which was one landmass, and it says one language at the time, that at this exact event when God sent the warrior wind spirits down to just destroy it all, that this is when all the land masses were separated, and people were spread all over the world, and their languages were confused, and the origin of languages, and possibly even why we look different. So the very much spiritual, technological Stargate portal of Babel is a much more better understanding in my opinion. One thing the Tower of Babel definitely was not, was this tower right here. Let's hit one thought experiment in conclusion. The phrase that God is holding us back from knowledge, holding us back from achieving things like he did at the Tower of Babel and the Garden of Eden. Well, let's look at it. Maybe both times there was a good reason, and it was both tied to other entities and giants trying to completely take over this realm, and the resets were the only way we could survive. What if we're on the verge of another incursion right now? By the way, the same people I hear talk about this say that it's the tree of knowledge, and God's holding us back from knowledge. Again, it's not the tree of knowledge.
No.
It's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We weren't meant to know that kind of good and evil in that state that we were in. The same way we weren't meant to partake in the tree of life in the state we were in either. All according to the actual context of these ancient texts. So this same omission and twisting, ironically, was the same strategy the serpent used in the tree to deceive us in the first place. And it still works now on a lot of people. Think about it. According to the texts, when we were created, literally our only commands were to eat fruit and enjoy the pleasure of multiplying. In paradise. Sounds pretty good to me. Speaking of Eden, the garden was just a garden inside of Eden. Eden was whatever was outside of the garden as well. Was Eden walled? Was it on top of a mountain? Was it in what we consider the North Pole now? Anyway, it seems like God did want us to partake in the tree of life, and He did want the people as one, just under the right conditions. Maybe faith is the ultimate experiment after all. Keep thinking, but don't let those brains overheat.
Definitely. Go follow him, go show him some love, y'all. Show him some support, man, because he put that work in on that one right there, y'all, for real. That's a little something to make your mind wonder, you know what I mean? For real, most definitely, man. Show some love for that one. Let's get it though, y'all, man. This is good. Y'all don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. I got something special for y'all at the end. Come on now. Let's get it.
Have you ever wondered why the European Parliament in Strasbourg looks incomplete? The reason is that it's designed to look like the Tower of Babel. According to a Bible story, Babel was built by King Nimrod in an attempt to reach God, but God punished Nimrod for his arrogance, causing his workforce to speak in many different languages so they couldn't understand each other. Nimrod is a popular name in Hungary today, as the Hungarians have a legend that after the disastrous tower failed, Nimrod's wife gave birth to two sons, Hunor and Magyar, who became the first Huns and Magyars who eventually founded the Hungarian nation.
Something to think about, huh? Yeah. Like I'm like on no boy in the other clip too. Like maybe it's like an antenna, like a cell tower, or some type of tower, signal tower, or a spaceship. You know, gotta be a spaceship to get to the heavens where God at. That's the only thing I could think of. That it was a spaceship or some type of ship going up, something. I don't know. Y'all let me know what your opinion is though, down below in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have our own, different opinions. I want to hear everybody's opinion.
This video is only for the people who believe in the Bible.
Well, that's me.
If you don't believe in it, then you're not going to believe in what I'm about to say.
But if we do believe in the Bible, that doesn't mean we're necessarily going to agree with you.
So Genesis 11 is talking about the Tower of Babel. The Lord wouldn't let them build the Tower of Babel to reach the heavens. How can you believe that they're doing this? I mean, do you really think that he's going to let Elon Musk go to Mars?
Yes, because the Tower of Babel was not about literally trying to reach the heavens. It was about vanity. First, as Robert Alter notes, the tower was not an attempt to scale the heights of heaven. Its tops in the heavens is a hyperbole found in Mesopotamian inscriptions for celebrating high towers, and to make or leave a name for oneself by erecting a lasting monument is a recurrent notion in ancient Hebrew culture. The tower was about making a name for themselves, which is what the text says, instead of living in a way to honor the name of the Lord, which is a recurrent problem throughout Genesis. As Kenneth Matthews said, this story mirrors the attempt of humanity in the garden to achieve power independently of God. The attempt of the Babylonites to transgress human limits is reminiscent of Eve's ambition. The bottom line is the story is about vanity, or making a name for yourself. It's not a story of God worrying that humans might reach heaven. There's a lot of complexity going on in this passage, and if you want a longer explanation, I recommend this video I made.
What do you... Yeah, that's crazy. What it say? What do you feel? Man, I don't know, man. That's a little strange, man, in my opinion, man. I don't know. What do y'all think, though? Let me know what y'all think, man. Because, yeah, that's a little strange, man. These people out here is getting weird. like I say, it's crazy out here, man. Like it's getting crazy. These people out here really thinking they could break the firmament, just like Nimrod or Gilgamesh and King Nebuchadnezzar. You're not gonna break the firmament, my friend. It's an impenetrable dome. We live in a dome on a flat surface. Yeah. How many of y'all out there believe that we live in a dome on a flat surface, man, on a flat earth? How many of y'all out there flat earthers? How many of y'all round earthers? I'm starting to think we live on a flat earth too, man. I ain't gonna lie. Man, because it just don't make sense how we floating in the air on a ball in space. I mean, not in air, but in space, as a ball in space. The water is just it's just holding tight with the gravity. The gravity is holding the water so it won't fall, and roll around. I just don't. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's bigger than us, though. Let's get it, man. What they say is bigger than Nino Brown. God destroyed the Tower of Babel so they won't reach the heavens. That's not what they meant. Same with the rockets. They will never reach the heavens. And it's not, I don't think it's just naturally about the rockets, about reaching the heavens. I think because after they go from there, oh man, we went to space. We made rockets to go to space. Next, what's next? Then what? What's next after that? Then what? Then they gonna start to really think. It goes deeper and deeper with this science stuff. They go from that to the next thing, and it goes down to genetic mutations and all that to really trying to become God. Is what they saying. Is what I'm getting out of it. But hey, what they say, never lean on our own understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because we could easily misinterpret these words. Let's get it.
What is it about society that disappoints you so much?
Oh, I don't know. Is it that we collectively thought Steve Jobs was a great man, even when we knew he made billions off the backs of children? Or maybe it's that it feels like all our heroes are counterfeit. The world itself's just one big hoax, spamming each other with our burning commentary bullshit masquerading as insight, our social media faking as intimacy. Or is it that we voted for this? Not with our rigged elections, but with our things, our property, our money. I'm not saying anything new. We all know why we do this. Not because Hunger Games books makes us happy, but because we want to be sedated. Because it's painful not to pretend. Because we're cowards. Fuck society.
Real quick, so this is 1968 on BBC. This is a year before the fake moon landing. They fucking told everybody. And they do that for a variety of reasons. One, according to their religion, they relieve themselves of their karmic responsibility. Because if you tell people and you make it available, you're not trapping people. It's consent driven. And then later when people watch it and realize that they've been tricked the whole time, it's a demoralization tactic. This is called Newsbenders from 1968. This wasn't made by a bunch of truthers. This is the fucking BBC. Told you this. And you still did it.
You're going to make this happen?
No. We are going to make models much cheaper than we photograph the models.
Fake newsreels?
Fake newsreels. For the past 10 years, people have been looking at our fake newsreels and listening to our fake commentaries.
And they accept it for the truth. And you can do it. Stop 100
years. There were all these things whizzing about up there, did you? Sputniks and rockets crossing their legs for 8 days.
How long has this been going on?
Since Hiroshima.
And the H-bomb, you mean, that doesn't work either?
Right. Dirty.
Very. The H-bomb, you mean, that doesn't work either?
Right. Dirty.
Great.
Very, very dirty.
What was your first reaction? Relief. Oh, yes. Yes, it has to be released.
You say you can put out what pictures you like on television. Doesn't anybody try to stop you?
No, nobody wants to. 99.386% of the population wouldn't believe this conversation. And the rest are working for us. They're the top minds, they're really responsible.
I had to stop that, man. Had a what you call it, man? Shit, my throat and my stomach, something, man, had made me sick. Something I think I just heard. That's crazy. Boy, y'all wild if y'all part of this.
Scare an ostrich, buries its head in the sand. You scare a hedgehog, it rolls itself up into a ball. When a woman's frightened, she goes out and buys herself a hat.
You mean you scare us so that we'll buy more, so that money moves quicker, production moves up?
We don't say scare when we talk about human beings. We say threaten them emotionally. And there are all sorts of ways, not just the big ones like the hydrogen bomb. Overcrowd them a little.
Why would he say when we talking human beings? Are y'all not human beings? Are y'all not human beings or what? They trying to tell us something? Was he talking in code? Was he talking in code, guys? I think y'all not dropping what I'm, man. Y'all not picking up what I'm dropping. That's what's going on. Come on, man. I'm trying to drop them jewels to y'all, them gems, man.
Bad planning, sell them too many motor cars, anything to keep them a little bit removed from reality. Nowadays, people don't work for money. They work for the idea of money. They don't even love for love. They love for the idea of love. They only hate for the idea of hate. It took us 5 years to find a non-addictive drug. One we could pay off against the hard drugs. LSD.
You marketed that?
Oh, yes, of course. And for a very good reason. Some of these protest movements are getting a little bit too close to the mark. LSD gave them nice little hallucinations. Made them talk like 3-year-olds. Throw flowers at policemen. Politicians are easy to control. The grosser mentality boys who like to be photographed getting in and out of Daimlers and Whitehall. They come right at the bottom of our organization. A few rungs up the ladder, there are the people in the top secret factories. Just those in a position to know they're making weapons that don't really work.
There must come a time when somebody wants to use one of those weapons. I mean, somebody is standing there with a finger on the button.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Nobody presses the button.
Damn, man, y'all think y'all was peeping game, man. He telling y'all it's a lot of fugazi facades going on right now, man. A lot of, man, y'all won't have to go back and watch it because y'all ain't paying attention, I don't think, if I got to tell you about it. Come on, man. Let's get it, man. Y'all hit that like button. Let's get it, man.
Nimrod is who you're really celebrating on the 25th day of December.
Biblical traditions associating Nimrod with the Tower of Babel.
That's crazy, man. How many of y'all out there knew that? I didn't know that. I just found out. That's wild, man. I hope that ain't true, though.
To his reputation as a king who was rebellious against God. This heaven-defying group of people wanted one government to rule the world and one religion to sway the hearts of mankind.
If children misbehave, Saint Nicholas would send his associate, Krampus, his dark partner, would show up and punish the wicked child. He would beat him with a bundle of birch sticks and whip him with horsehair, and finally throw him in a sack or a wicker basket to take him down to hell for a year.
Saint Nicholas supposedly captured Satan and called him by various names: the Krampus, Beelzebub, Zwartdite, or the Black Peter, and Nekruprik. And these were just some of the names. In some of the cultures, Santa Claus was dropped altogether, and the only remaining figure was the Krampus, which was kept and known as Weihnachtsmann, which means Santa Claus in the Germanic languages. In other words, in some cultures, Santa Claus is known to be Satan himself, who is the Krampus.
Oh man, there's a lot of y'all ain't gonna like this. Y'all can be on me in the comment section about this one, man. Hey, they said it, not me. I'm just here to react, man. Don't miss the message, you know what I'm saying? Focus on the message. Y'all heard what I said, man. And don't fall for that boo-boo, man. Y'all, they be telling y'all it's Jesus' birthday, it's Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Nah, they celebrating that. For real, you don't believe it, go do your research, man, for real. Let's get it. That's spooky. Man, that's spooky.
See, everyone think that the new year is going to be spectacular. It's going to be something special. They think that because we're heading into the new year and the next year, that everything is going to go well. You are about to witness hell. You're about to witness the collapse of humanity. More inflation, more food, more medicine being pulled off the shelves, more stores being closed, more robberies, more murders, more killings. As the Antichrist makes its arrival on the scene, as the dollar bill collapses, as everyone so hypothetically believing that the new year is going to be great, the devil has other plans. 2024, we will witness something you ain't never seen before.
Boy. A lot of y'all ain't gonna be ready or prepared for this, but like I always say, this is not to fearmonger and all that. This is just to keep y'all on your P's and Q's and prepare you. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. We all in this together. So you ain't really got too much to worry about unless you, I'm saying, on that other side and you, saying you praising or worshiping that other man. I ain't gonna say other man, that thing. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna call that thing, man. It ain't not that thing in a good way.
A demon
Make sure y'all paying attention, man, because y'all would definitely miss the message, focusing on the messenger, man. I'm telling you. And y'all share this, because a lot of people out here need to hear this. That's one a lot of y'all want to know, I know. But when the enemy, he's saying it, that is a demon in the orange. He's saying it. The enemy, he means God. He's talking about God, y'all. So I hope y'all paying attention, because it's deep right now. It's only going to get deeper. He dropping gems for you. Y'all got to catch them, though. When he says you as in humans, like the human race, not him as just an individual. You know, as all of us as a human race. Man, hold up. Man, that's cold-blooded, man. Just a means to an end, man. And that was powerful, man. He said, man, God made us in his image, and they remade us in their own. That kind of sound like the what they say about the Anunnaki, what they saying, talking about the genetic tampering and all that stuff. Hey, it could be some truth to that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we do know them Anunnaki are fallen angels. You know, so hey, like I say, you can't, you know, it's just a little something to think about, you know, a little something to make your mind wonder, you know. But hey, if you really want to get deep into it, go ahead and do a little research. And I'm telling you, you're going to come up upon some stuff that you're going to be like, oh my God. Like, dang, man, oh boy really be knowing what he talking about. Like, I'm telling you, come on, man. Let's get it though. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that down below in the comment section. Let's look, it's almost time, y'all. Stay with me.
I'm not a tinfoil hat person. This is in the Bible, okay? The spirit of Babylon in the days of Daniel to our own day is always seeking to do three things. Number one, close the church. In the days of Daniel, they forbid the worship of God. They invaded Jerusalem. They shut down the temple. The worship of God was canceled. I'm telling you, a few years ago, the spirit of Babylon went global, tried to close the church. Just close it. That's always the first goal. The second goal, if it can't keep the church closed and the church is open, is to have it compromised. What we would call apostate or woke. False teaching, soft teaching, taking the spirit of Babylon and bringing it into the children of God. Third thing that the spirit of Babylon is always seeking to do is to literally cut off the next generation. Because if you love the Lord and your kids don't, then faith ends when your life ends. In the days of Daniel, they castrated him as a young man. Does this sound familiar at all? Like, hey, let's close the church if it's open. Let's make it compromised, apostate, and woke. And while we're at it, let's mutilate the next generation of children.
kind of ring a bell. I'm talking about like nowadays these times is almost like it's Daniel, Noah, Jonah, and all that in the one, man. Cause it's some wicked times right now, man. For real, it's wicked, man. We living in some wicked times, man. We got it, man. All kind of stuff going on. I don't even want to speak about it on here like that, but y'all know what's going on because y'all see it in the videos, and not just mine, on other channels too. It's crazy out here, you know. It's crazy, y'all. Y'all gotta stay prayed up, and we got to, you know what I'm saying, stay united out here, man. For real, we gotta look out for each other. Come on, man, let's get it.
According to the book of Revelations, she sits atop water and has a golden cup in her right hand and a crown of 7 rays on her head. And the woman which thou sawest in that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. The United Nations, in theory, reigns over all the kings of the earth and is situated in New York, the great city where you can see the Statue of Liberty. The statue is the most well-known landmark in the U.S. and the symbol of Babylon the prophets are referring to in their clues. So why, then, are they also calling it the Whore of Babylon? The sculptor of the Statue of Liberty was Auguste Bertoldi, a Mason belonging to the Great Masonic Lodge in Paris. Before beginning the Statue of Liberty project, Bertoldi was seeking commission to construct a giant statue of the goddess Ishtar.
Well, I gotta say one thing, guys and gals. It definitely ain't no coincidence right there. Hey. No, for real though, man. It definitely ain't no coincidence, man. Hey, ain't never no coincidence. Y'all see that? That was the statue of the morning star, as they would say, Ishtar or whatever. But in the Statue of Liberty, it was too similar. Almost look like twins, like they say, man. They just changed up the helmet and the hair a little bit. Yeah, let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section about that, man. Am I just tripping, thinking outside the box a little bit too far? Or are we, you know what I'm saying, creeping upon the right path, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
Good evening, godless sodomite. Kneel before your god, Babylon!
Whoa.
Making me the highest paid, megalomaniacal boy king in
Whoa.
all of Babylon! You see, if you go and visit the very home of the Oscars, where they hold it each year, you can see a plaque on the wall that says the Babylonian Corpse. The camera shows you the stage, and you see an unmistakable Tower of Babel embedded into the design. Outside of the Kodak Theater, you have the gates to Ishtar, and you have Babylonian gods put on the outside of the gates. They have the exact elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same exact Babylonian gods over the top of the gates. A lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me up big. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus. This award is my God now. I'm thankful to the Oscar gods. The other names of the gentlemen are all gods as far as the category concerned. When you get this little golden statue, you become a star. In the Egyptian culture, they also had a little statue that represented the god Ptah. And see, when an Egyptian king died, it was believed...
Man, them are false idols, man. That they got false gods and false idols that they worshiping. That they said these are false. You know what I mean? These are little gods or little whatever. He was a god or whatever. That little statue, man. That's false idols, man. You ain't supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. Is all I'm gonna say, man. Let's get it.
That his spirit went into the belt of Orion, and he then became a star. Up until 1999, the Oscars was held at a building called the Shrine, which was founded by William Florence and Walter Fleming, two high-ranking Scottish Rite Freemasons. Hollywood has long been interested in Freemasonry. Gene Autry, John Wayne, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, Oliver Hardy, you name it, the list goes on. Many celebrities have come out and admitted their connection to Freemasonry. You can see the checkered floor, you can see the archways, you can see the sun motif in the background. All of these are letting you know exactly who owns this organization. While the world is wandering after all of these celebrities, we would do well to heed the very advice from Jesus' lips himself. In Luke 4 verse 8 it says, "For it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shalt thou serve."
Y'all better be paying attention.
Compare that painting to the modern day Statue of Liberty, it is an exact match. Same muscle definition, they went to the same gym, and the Statue of Liberty just so happens to be called the New Colossus, which bears a striking resemblance to the old sun god Helios statue, the original Colossus of Rhodes. Even the feet are identical, which reminds me of a Bible verse, talks about everlasting chains under darkness. There it is, truth in plain sight. Just like the time we were heliocentric into believing a lie from these sun god worshippers that put the truth out there throughout history. They have been sun god worshippers, aka Helios, aka Satan, Lucifer, the light bearer. Do not be deceived.
Y'all heard him. He said, "Don't fall for the boo-boo, man." Pay attention.
So 2017, 2024 solar eclipse, a lot of people should know this by now. If you don't, then I'm guessing this is your date of you finding out about this. So the coincision of this eclipse pass is here in southern Illinois, also known as Carbondale, also known as Little Egypt. And this X right here is actually not the 2024 total solar eclipse pass, but it's actually two fault line cracks that is going across America. 1,700 miles one way, 1,600 miles. The map of the seismic cracks and the paths of totality observed in the solar eclipse. The correlation in the paths and locations might evoke a sense of awe or terror, depending on one's perspective. It invites contemplation on the possible means or connection these natural phenomena might hold. And you can see the striking resemblance in Forbes magazine Doomsday Map or Doomsday Crack, because this would be the precise location of X marks the spot. The unsettling parallels between the seismic crack and the path of totality are not lost on those who study them. Yet, the lack of public warning from scientists or authorities are baffling. It calls to mind scenes from disasters, movies like 2012, where the government concealed imminent catastrophic to avert panic. Could we be living in such scenario? Have those in power suspected a looming threat and chosen silence over alarm? These questions linger, leaving us to ponder the cryptic message that nature seems to be signaling, and wonder if humanity is truly ready to face whatever may be coming. Now we see where Forbes get their prediction from. But trust me, it's way much more deeper than you think. This is an Exodus sign for a chosen people, for the people, for humanity, for the world.